Hi everybody, today's video is going to be about when to and when not to take a shot in Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. Now, I know that probably sounds like a bit of a stupid question. Surely you should always shoot at people if you've seen them, but if you've played PUBG for any length of time, you'll know that firing your gun sometimes, in fact lots of the times, starts a series of events that doesn't always end in your favour. Now, as we know, PUBG is a battle royale survival game that's got, average graphics on console, but it does have fantastic gunplay and amazing sound mechanics and a realism that you don't get in many other games. You win the game by being the last one alive and not the one who's killed the most enemies. So just think about great sound and think about great guns, and if all you take from this video is that statement, you'll be doing well already, because great sound and great guns are the cornerstone behind the gameplay in PUBG. What this means is that whenever you fire your weapon and you make that large sound that's associated with it, that will be heard for hundreds of meters around where you are, and there may well be, and in fact there will probably be, unintended consequences, mainly involving you giving away your position to other enemies who will then either see you straight away and start shooting or come and investigate, especially on the small maps like Sandhawk. So if we can all agree that there's a risk whenever you fire your weapon, let's lay down some broad rules of engagements to balance that risk against the reward of getting a kill. And kind of our guiding principle is that we don't want to give away our position by firing unless it's strictly necessary, because of course that's fatal and we don't get a second chance in PUBG. You need to start again. It's also good to be aware that there are sort of two rough sorts of shots you can take. Shots against immediate threats and targets of opportunity. So let's first talk about general play, early game. If you've played anything like I do, you've probably dropped far from the flight path and you've looted up and you're kind of heading in towards the circle, maybe the first or second circle, and then you spot somebody. And the questions you've got to ask yourself is there an immediate threat to you? Is this player an immediate threat to you? Obviously, if they're looking at you, you bumped into each other, then you want to start firing at them. If they're not, then this is where we start asking a few questions. Excuse me. So, where's the circle? At this particular point in time, when we've seen this other player, do we need to be moving? Is the blue behind us? Is it a fairly early game circle, like the first or the second, where it's not going to hurt as much, so we can take some time getting involved in a gunfight? Or is it one of the later ones where really we need to get a move on because we've got a long way to go? And trust me, as soon as you get involved in a gunfight with somebody, time speeds up. How far away is this player from me? And where are they in comparison to where I need to be to get safe into the circle? So, for example, if I'm running towards the circle, I'm not in the blue, but I'm running towards the next circle, and then a player appears far off to my right, say, I've got plenty of time, and some of the other rules cut in as well. I could well take that fight. However, this player's in front of me on the way into the circle, and maybe he's got a better position than me. Maybe I won't engage him because he's concentrating on running into the circle. If I fire at him, he may miss. I may well miss or not kill him straight away. He then has an advantage. He could then hide behind a rock, and he knows I've got to come to him because of the circle, and he would have the advantage. And as part of that thing, is this enemy that you've seen, are they running away from you? Are they running towards you, because they then might become an immediate threat and you've got to take them out? Or are they standing still? Also ask yourself, are other players going to see me when I shoot this guy, or will they see him go around? And are there any other players around? Have you seen anybody who might be around? So if you start shooting, they're going to come over and get involved as well. So the answer to all these questions is it all seems good. So they're not in the way of the circle. I've got plenty of time. They're standing still. So this means I can now think, right, I can get a clean kill on this person. So maybe you've got an AWM, you've got a Kar 98, you've got an M24, you've got a, you've got a gun where you know that you can hit them either once in the head with a bolt action rifle, or several times in the body with an AR or DMR, and take them down before they have a chance to start moving and get behind cover. Because it's all about killing them quickly, and then either looting and moving on, or just moving on and repositioning straight away. Obviously, if they're running around and jig-jagging and moving all over the place, you've got to think, oh, if I shoot at this person and miss, what's going to happen next? I've given away my position to the person I'm shooting at and everybody behind me, and is that worth it? Or should I just move on and wait for an easier kill? Obviously, if they are still, and you have got a Kar 98 or an M24 or an M16 or something where you can hit them fast, then you would then take the shots. Now, if you've got a silencer, you can kind of that lets you off quite a few of these things, because if you can shoot with a silencer, it means that people around you aren't really going to know where you are, and the person you're shooting at probably won't know where you are either. They'll have a rough idea, but they won't know exactly. So it means if you miss, you can still pepper them with a few more shots, and you have more time in that gunfight, because other players are less likely to come and investigate to see where you are and then get involved. And that's why often, well, silencers are very powerful, and that's why the VSS, especially in solo and duo matches, is very powerful as well. That's the 9mm fully automatic, semi-automatic DMR that fires subsonic 9mm bullets with lots of bullet drop, but is virtually silent to everybody around them unless someone is very, very close. And you can black people from 100 meters away, and they won't have a clue where you are, and people who are quite close to you won't have a clue where you are as well. So you then take the shot, you kill them, and then you've got to decide, do you need to loot them? If you don't need any loot, if you're happy with the setup you've got, don't, because looting is always dangerous, because you've shot somebody, they're dead obviously, but someone else might have heard you, even if using a silencer, or they may have seen the other player die, and they're just waiting for you. I've done it loads of, they're waiting for you to wander along, to go to that box, to lie down or to crouch near it, and they'll just shoot you straight away. So think long and hard before looting. Do you really need that? Maybe you really need some meds, or you need some ammo or something like that. If you do have to, and there's no decent cover around, throw a smoke grenade down on that box and loot that way. Now, if things go wrong and you don't kill them straight away, and they manage to jiggle-jaggle behind cover, then you've got to decide what you're going to do next. If you're quite close to them, within grenade range, lob a grenade over, and then also, or as well as, push around at an angle to get an angle to shoot them before they can heal up. Because if they get a chance to heal up, obviously at that point you're back on even terms, but they know where you are, and if they're behind cover, they can use third person peeking to look out from behind that cover and take you out. I mean, if you're further away, you can still rotate round and get another angle and try and shoot them that way. Or you may well decide to leave this gunfight for another day. The clock will have moved on, the circle might be pushing you, and you might want to reposition yourself and move away from that gunfight. Just be happy the fact that you've probably damaged his armour, his helmet, you've made him use some of his meds, and you're moving on. If you spend time hungry for that kill, you're going to be attracting more players from around you. There's always a chance that the other guy, he might be a better shot than you, he might have a better scope than you, and he can take you out. There's nothing wrong with leaving that gunfight and moving on to fight another day. Valor is great, but discretion can often be the better part, as the famous saying goes. So, to kind of sum all that stuff up, in general play, you should only go for the shot if there's an immediate threat to you, and as long as you're safe in terms of the circle, and your timely route into the circle isn't going to be at risk by getting involved in a gunfight. You should only take the shot as well if you're going to have a clear, quick kill. And all these things, you can sum them up as saying, basically, you got a significant advantage over the enemy. Okay, now, as we move into the final circles, things change a little bit. You can be a little bit more clever about what you're doing, and you can use the other players to give you more information about what's going on around you. So let's say you're in solos and there's 10 people left. You're in the last few circles. Now at this point, if you fire a gun without a silencer, everybody can hear where you are. So again, this is why silencers are so important, and those previous rules apply. So you're going to come across against immediate threats that you've got to take out, but you're also going to come up against targets of opportunity, and they're the ones that can give you more information before you take them. So if you've got a suppressor on your gun and you see somebody and they don't see you, so they're not a threat, they're a target of opportunity, you can then choose to take them out. Because people won't know where you're going to be going. Just keep in mind though that you want to keep yourself safe in terms of the circle, because again something might go wrong and you might get involved in a firefight. So make sure you keep an eye on the circle and then get engaged. Now let's say you see a target of opportunity, you're safe in the circle, you've got cover, they haven't seen you, you aim them up. Take a second to see what they're doing, which way they're facing. Are they aiming their gun at somebody else? And this happens a lot of the time in the final circles. You'll go to aim at someone and they're aiming at someone else. So now you know that they've seen someone else that you haven't seen. So that's giving you some more information. Now, are they about to open fire on that other person as well? If they are, don't take the shot. Because if they've got the jump on the other person and kill them, that other person dies, then you take them out and 2 players have gone from the circle. Now it could be they start to get into a gunfight, and if they do, you may well be in a position where you can see both of them. You can see one player and you can see the other, and then just let the gunfight play itself out. Remember, everybody else in the circle will be able to hear what's going on as well, and certain players will then start firing at those 2 players, giving away their position as well. So you can think, oh right, I now know someone's over there on the left or someone there is over the right. And what you can do is wait for the gunfight to finish. Wait for someone, whoever wins, because whoever has won is probably going to be injured and their armour is going to be low. If nobody else shoots them, that's the time when you take them out. You kill them. So now you know you've got 2 players are down. You might well have been able to identify other players before you took the shot. And also you'll have a good idea that that part of the circle is probably, especially in the final steps of the circle, that part of the circle could well be quite clear. Now, when you're in the last 5, you've really got to balance position where you are in the circles against taking the shots, because the people who often win the chicken dinners when it's getting to this stage are the ones who have got the best position in the circle, so they've got the best cover, they can see the most. So always remember, get yourself safe, then take the shots. Lots of the gunfights you're going to get coming into now are going to be gunfights where you have to deal with the immediate threat, but keep listening out for those other players. Keep listening out for where they are shooting. Because if someone's shooting at someone else, they're not shooting at you. They're giving away their position to everybody else in the circle, and they're damaging somebody else as well. So sometimes you'll get into the situation, similar to one we just talked about, where there'll be bang, bang, bang. They're firing at someone, they kill the other person. You get another bang, and they've been killed because they've given away their position. And then you can start to move in. Now, you may get a situation where the last few gunfights are immediate threats, but you might get ones where they're not, where maybe you're crawling into the circle, or you've been lucky, you're moving from cover to cover, and all your targets are targets of opportunity, and even that final shot could well be a target of opportunity as well. So again, take your time. If you've got a scope on it, if they don't see you, go for the headshot and take them out. Okay, so hopefully this video has been useful in helping you decide when you should take that shot and when not to take that shot in PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. A lot of this advice really applies to solos and duos, not really squads, because in squads people tend to see each other faster and you tend to engage each other faster that way. But I guess what I'm trying to get across is the fact that more often than not, you're better off not taking that shot unless you're really sure you can kill them. So you're not shooting at players that are a long way off in the distance, or often at medium distance if they're running away from you and they're not an immediate threat. And by avoiding those gunfights, you avoid giving your position away, which enables you to get into those top 10 situations where then you can use your expertise and your gun skills to get yourself into a chicken dinner winning situation. Okay, I think that's enough from me on this subject. If you've got any questions and comments, put them in the box down below. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Thank you very much, and I will see you again soon.